I guess maybe Jane Eskind's the best candidate, but we've never had a woman governor.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
I can't vote for a woman.
I just wish she wasn't a woman.
I don't believe those voices reflect the real views of Tennessee. I don't believe that half the people of this state lost their chance to be governor on the day they were born. On primary day, we're going to show America and the world the kind of place Tennessee is.
Eskind, simply because she's the best person for the job. She's out there fighting for our future. Now, with your help, Jane Eskind will be elected governor simply because she is the best person for the job. Never content to care only about herself. Her whole life, she's been fighting for the right things. When it wasn't easy, she spoke out for the rights of all people. She believes everyone should have an opportunity. She's given part of what she's made in business to help kids get a college education. Then she entered public service in a 1978 Senate race that was called impossible at first. At the end, Howard Baker said, "She gave me the toughest race of my career." She did it by standing up for the needs of people. In 1980, that concern took her to the State Public Service Commission, the first woman elected to statewide office with the most votes in Tennessee history.
Government isn't just numbers and programs. It's about human lives. The challenge is not just to pass laws and fill statute books. It's to fulfill hopes and dreams for all Tennesseans.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, for Governor Eskind.
This is Jane Eskind.
As chairman of the State Public Service Commission, she fought the federal plan to break up the telephone company. Then she fought to keep our phone rates down. And today, Tennessee has some of the lowest phone rates in the South. She's fighting against putting a nuclear waste plant in our state. And she's even willing to take on Washington when they try to weaken TVA and raise our electric bills. In 1986, her fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, the Governor Eskind.
You be careful, guys.
Someone in Washington decided to bring the nation's nuclear waste to Tennessee and store it here. When the governor, the leaders of the legislature, and most mayors wouldn't speak out, Jane Eskind did. Some of them said it wouldn't hurt us. Jane Eskind said, "You're not going to turn Tennessee into a nuclear dumping ground. We're going to stop it." In 1986, Jane Eskind's fight for people goes on. Remember when the phones used to work right, and we got just one phone bill, and we could read it? Then almost overnight in Washington, they decided to break up the best phone system in the world. Almost no one spoke out, but Jane Eskind did. She went to court fighting for the people. She's still fighting today. And as a result, Tennessee has some of the lowest phone rates in the South. In 1986, her fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, for Governor Eskind.
I'm for building better roads. They're part of our future. But if you listen to the politicians in the back rooms, you'd think that's all that matters. We have to remember that there are people at the end of those roads, and you don't have to be young to have a future. We need a governor who cares about them, who understands that for them the future is their health, who will fight to protect their medical care, to help working families, the needy, and senior citizens alike.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. Jane Eskind knows that what we can do for those in the dawn of life and those in life's golden years depends on a productive Tennessee economy, on strengthening our basic industries, and new jobs for a new generation of Tennesseans.
They work hard for every dollar. They're the strength of Tennessee. And I believe in a government that fights for people like them.
For jobs, for Tennessee, for Governor Eskind. In 1986, her fight for people goes on.
Farming is a way of life, and the most basic of all our industries. And the families who work the land are among the best of all our people.
We can't control the wind and rain and the hot spells and the cold, but we can decide who becomes governor. And we need a governor who cares, like Jane Eskind.
As governor, I intend to fight for their hopes, for their right to pass the good earth on to their children, not to the auctioneers.
For Governor Eskind. The smoke-filled room, case number 1, credit card interest rates. The big banks and lobbyists defeated a bill to lower the ceiling on credit card interest in Tennessee. They pushed hard, and the legislature caved in. So credit cards can charge us 21% interest, twice as much as the big corporations pay.
21% interest is wrong. It's unfair. We're going to change it.
She'll stand up to the politicians in the back room. She's out there fighting for us, for Tennessee, for Governor Eskind.
I'm for building better roads. They're part of our future. But if you listen to the politicians, you think that's all that matters. We have to remember that there are people at the end of those roads, and you don't have to be young to have a future. We need a governor who cares about them, who understands that for them, the future is their health, who will fight to protect their medical care, to help working families, the needy, and senior citizens alike.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. The smoke-filled room, case number 4, nursing home sellout. There was a bill before the legislature this year to fine nursing home operators guilty of mistreating their patients. Sounds perfect, but the lobbyists pushed hard, and once again, the legislature caved in.
These are supposed to be your golden years. You've earned the right to dignity and to security. I'm going to be a governor for you, not for the special interests.
She'll stand up to the politicians in the back room. She's fighting for us. Eskind. Most governors go to Nashville and forget where they come from. They don't even look back as they're taken in by the Nashville political and business establishment. Jane Eskind is the candidate for governor who can't be pressured into ignoring West Tennessee.
As governor, I'm determined to see to it that all the people who live here get the opportunities they deserve, that every part of Tennessee has its rightful share of jobs, of new factories, and economic growth.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. Eskind. Most governors go to Nashville and forget where they come from. They don't even look back as they're taken in by the Nashville political and business establishment. Jane Eskind is the candidate for governor who can't be pressured into ignoring East Tennessee.
As governor, I'm determined to see to it that all the people who live here get the opportunities they deserve, that every part of Tennessee has its rightful share of jobs, of new factories, and economic growth.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. Eskind. Jane Eskind knows that growth and jobs depend on the quality of life in Tennessee. It's a strength we can't risk losing. As governor, she'll ask what's good for people, for families, for neighborhoods, not politicians in the back room and their special interest friends.
Unless we do the right things now to protect ourselves and our environment, we'll destroy the very things which make Tennessee a special place to live, to work, to do business.
She's out there fighting for us, for Tennessee, for governor. Eskind. America's economy is always changing, and Jane Eskind wants Tennessee to lead the way. That means preparing the next generation for the jobs of tomorrow, fighting for the best education for the children of this state. Jane Eskind knows that's the key to our prosperity.
Our people are talented, hardworking, and our kids are smart. And if they have the chance, they can learn and do anything.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, for governor, Eskind. Jane Eskind knows that family farmers are a special part of Tennessee's family.
They're in trouble, in crisis, and state government is doing nothing. The politicians in the back rooms are too busy making deals to listen to the families who work the land, to hear their hopes and their fears.
In 1986, her fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, for governor, Eskind. Jane Eskind is fighting hard against the forces in Washington, still determined to bring the nation's nuclear waste to Tennessee.
We may be the volunteer state, but we don't have to volunteer to be the nation's nuclear dumping ground.
We know where Jane Eskind stands because when others were silent, she spoke out. Together we can stop their plan. In 1986, Jane Eskind's fight for people goes on. For Tennessee, for governor, Eskind.